Well, good morning. It's going to be a good day. I'm out here at our ballast pile. I got gravel coming in today, so I'm waiting on a truck from the quarry to get ballast in. I'm sitting up here in our case high lift. All right, I I wanted to welcome you to the show today, and thank you very much for joining in. This is not about ballast. This show. We got so many comments here in off of the last two videos that I put out, the one on the ballast regulator and the one on the tamper, the contract tamper that we had in here. And how do you get your rolling stock, and how does all the MOW equipment come in? So, bunch of comments, and I'm going to answer that for you today. Alrighty, all of our rolling stock over the years, since the very beginning, uh, have come in over Norfolk Southern tracks to siding at Poland Mines, and then trucked from Poland Mines. It's about 5 miles up to our Alicia Harbor. The original tracks, the original locomotive number one, and the 30 Ortner cars that we got that were brand new came into Poland and were trucked up over. That was Monongahela Railroad that owned the tracks at the time. So Halcher has done all the trucking for us over the years. I will say this for those of you who have read the January 2021 issue of Trains magazine, that in that article it said that the original locomotive was barged up here. The gentleman that wrote the article, Mr. Beecher, is a wonderful person. When he was here, I talked to him. I had no clue that he was going to write an article. He took a lot of pictures. I wish I would have known that he would have was going to write an article on that, but I didn't. Anyway, he got his information. He said it was barge, and he got his information out of a book, and I'll show you that. The book's at home right now. I'll show you where he got his information from. Okay. I in no way want to put down or criticize Mr. Beecher. Like I said, he's a wonderful person. He did a really good job on that article, but I'll let you make up your own mind. I'll tell you my point of view, and I'll show you where he got his information from, and you can decide which one you want. Number one locomotive was built in 1975, and it came to Monongahela tracks there at West Brownsville. I'll show you a picture of that here in a little bit, and that's where he got the information. Look, I was working on the river. It came to us in the spring of 1976. I was working on the river at that time for West Penn Power at Hatfield Power Station. Okay, we unloaded coal down there. I was a barge handler, and we worked 24/7. So the only thing that we ever saw on the river down there in those years was coal up and down the river. That's all we ever saw. Had a barge come upriver with a locomotive on it, that would have been pretty big news, and nobody ever remembers seeing that happen down there. And like I said, I worked there and never heard anything at all about it either. So I rather imagine that the locomotive was sitting at Monongahela Railroad at West Brownsville waiting for the 30 Ortner cars. It wouldn't have made much sense to me to barge a locomotive up here. The only place to offload it would have been at Poland Mines, and since we got tracks, why I don't understand. I don't see how that would have happened. But anyway, all right. I was here when number 22 showed up, and number 3098. I was here when all of our CYMX cars showed up, all of our OFAX cars, and all of our JACX cars. And every one of those came over the tracks to Poland mine, and then Hulcher trucked everything up the 5 or so miles to the harbor. Okay, now the MOW equipment. How does all our MOW equipment? Okay, everything we rent, like a brush cutter, the contract tamper, and the regulator, and all that, all the tie equipment for the tie gang gets all trucked in here. Okay, everything like that gets trucked in. And actually, like Frontier Railroad or Amtrak of Maryland, when they go to a job, they may leave here, and Amtrak may go to Harrisburg, they may go to Baltimore, they may go to Boston, Kentucky, all over the place. And everything that Amtrak does with their tamper and regulator gets trucked. Nothing goes over main lines. And same way with Frontier Railroad. You know, they have all those tie machines, and they have their own tamper and their own regulator, and everywhere they go, you know, that gets trucked also. They let's say they were here working here, and their next job was in Boston. To run a tamper and a regulator from here to Boston, the amount of money it would cost for track time for Norfolk Southern or whatever railroad they would use would just be phenomenal. And I even doubt that Norfolk Southern or CSX would even allow it. But they'd have to have their own people running it if that did happen. So everything that all the MOW equipment gets trucked all over the place. And like I said, it might go from being Kentucky was the next job, but it gets trucked down there. Now, Frontier and Amtrak also, they have contract truck drivers that do their hauling for them. Okay, like our brush cutter was rented from up around Cleveland. It was a contract truck driver that brought it down here and dropped it off. And I'm going to show you a couple clips here real soon of them unloading a spiker and a ballast regulator here at the harbor. And I wanted to be here when they loaded some of the equipment back up, so I could get at least one shot of that, but I was not around. Just was not here when any of that equipment got loaded back up. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you again for tuning in. And I'll show you that book here in next clip. It's at home. So, all right, we'll be back. Well, if you wonder what the water running is, we're here on my porch at home. But I wanted to show you this book. This is the book that I was telling you about, where Mr. Beecher got his information, the Monongahela Railway, Volume 1. The photography that you're going to see is by E. Roy Ward. This book was written by Stephen Timko, and he was a train dispatcher, not for Monongahela, for another railroad. I don't know what railroad. And also he was a operating officer for Conrail for several years. So here's our #1 locomotive at Brownsville when it was brand new, and this is where he read this. One of the most interesting locomotives to pass through Monongahela territory is this EMD-ST 38-2 #1, owned by U.S. Steel. It's at South Brownsville, February 24th, 1976, waiting to be transloaded to a river barge for further movement to the isolated Cumberland Mine Railroad near Kirby. So there you have it. I'll let you decide how you think it got to our mine. And what's pretty neat also about this picture is this was the Monongahela Railroad's bicentennial paint job on that Jeep. The locomotive's 2002. That's pretty neat, isn't it? 1976. Okay, let's go watch him unload a spiker. Okay. Got a spiker in. Going to get it unloaded. Okay, let's see what's going on over here. You got a little remote there. Oh, that's nice. Sweet.
That's a lot easier.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Oh, that's perfect. You bringing anything else today? You bringing anything else today?
Anything else come back over?
Don't know, huh? I'll be out of here pretty soon, so just check in the office if you do come back today. Yes, sir. That's pretty neat. £29,500. They tearing any track up over there?
They knocked it out of line, tore up 2 head logs.
Uh-oh.
Couple switch timbers, couple regular ties.
How many cars went off?
They were almost on the side.
Oh my, are they loaded?
No, empty. One, I guess, the only thing coming in from falling was laying clear over with the switch handle. Understand?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They had a, I guess they had a derailment over at Emerald at their new frac sand offloading facility. Don't know why. Dickie just told me about it, so. He didn't know all the details either. Move the front wheels up there. That's pretty neat. Nice trailer. Don't get to see this very often. Got a shutdown coming up here. 10-day shutdown, so it's supposed to get another tamper in and a regulator sometime. And I don't know what else is coming. We'll find out when it gets here. Get some work done. Norfolk Southern had a 9-car derailment up around Graysville here the couple 3 days ago too. And I guess it was ugly. 9 loaded cars came off down in the farmer's field, and that was a real cold day. It was 14 degrees that morning and a high of 25. It was up on a fill. So those guys probably had it. I didn't go up there to see it, but it kind of, where it was at was just a narrow road, and I figured it'd be all kind of NS vehicles and Foreman vehicles up there, and they just rolled the cars over the hill, I guess, down the farmer's field, and he is not very happy. Anyway, they have single track up there. Okay, very good. All right, very good. You did great.
That's good, but this one, not so much.
That's pretty neat. Okay. You're the man. All right, this is pretty neat. Get some more equipment in.
I think it's got enough air.
I had this machine over at Emerald Mine. Brought it in this morning. We're gonna get some track work done. Not today, but they're gonna bring a tamper in too. I don't know if they're gonna bring 2 tampers or not. We'll find out. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is put up. Got a couple pins over there to hold on to the trailer up there, and a bar across here. He was telling me he was unloading a tamper there last week for somebody, for a week or so ago, and this tamper was heavy. Something on the back of the trailer broke, and it went down, derailed the tamper. That wasn't around here. That was another job he was hauling. He says he hauls a lot for CSX. So you and obviously when he gets this unloaded, these extensions out here he'll pick up and put back on his trailer.
little cold here this morning. 27 degrees, the wind's blowing. Real nice little snowstorm for about 15 minutes. Covered the ground anyway. Hopefully that's it for the day. Alrighty, gotta jump in there and move this thing out of the way for him. Okay, we'll be back. See you later. See what else we can get into.